What's up? What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? The surprise? Yeah, the surprise witness. We have not been to her channel in a good little while with her beautiful face. Look at the little bunny things and the pink stuff. It got a makeup all on and everything. Check this out. Candace Owens is being sued by President of France for saying Brigitte is in fact a man. What? Candace Owens, shout out. I wanted to do this because we haven't even touched or talked about Candace Owens also. So y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Hey, let's check it out.
Well, it has finally happened. I mean, I was surprised they haven't done this already. I was surprised this hasn't already happened, considering the litigious nature of this particular couple. But the news is breaking as of like less than 2 hours ago. Candace Owens, a very popular, I mean, calling her a podcaster, I think is a little reductive, but a very popular social figure, I don't know, also like political, I don't know, y'all know who Candace Owens is. So she has this series on her podcast that airs, I think mostly on YouTube, but maybe she also has like a website or something. But I mean, that's where I think where most people watch her is YouTube. So she has like a YouTube series with this French investigative journalist named Xavier Poussard, and they together, and really based on the work of Xavier Poussard and a couple other French journalists, had really come up with what they claim is compelling evidence, stone cold evidence, to suggest that the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, is not who she appears to be. Now, among these claims are that, Brigitte wasn't like the person we see walking around as Brigitte. This is a claim, not my claim. I didn't do the study. Okay, I'm just reporting what's been reported. The person that we see getting off the plane and pushing Emmanuel Macron's face in the plane and all of this, that is not the same person that was born with the name Brigitte Macron. That's one of the theories. That's one of the suggestions that this group of investigators came together and either came together or also independently concluded. Now, other allegations are that Brigitte Macron not only wasn't born Brigitte Macron, the name, but also she wasn't born a she. That's the allegation. So there's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of tit for tat. And for quite a while, the French propaganda arm, as well as the French, first couple or whatever, they have been able to keep a lot of criticism at bay because of some strategically, litigated, filed lawsuits. And the lawsuits are for defamation. And the defamation claims of these lawsuits, these were pending for years, had been decided originally against the journalists. And so what that means is it was basically found that these journalists, or this one particular journalist, had actually committed defamation with their reporting. Now, there was like a specific detail. They reported one thing. It wasn't actually the case, but for all intents and purposes of the story, it wasn't like the main point. It wasn't like, here's the journalist and she's like, Emmanuel Macron is first cousins with his own dad and that happens to be his wife or something. No, that's not what was claimed. What was claimed was like, a picture got recolorized or somebody was in this picture who was a different person in a different picture. But it wasn't like she didn't lose on defamation for saying Brigitte Macron was a man, anything having to do with her gender at all. It was something specific about some wedding picture or something. There was like a little detailed thing. But for a long time, for years, the Macrons have been able to point to that lawsuit and say all of that, what you're hearing is all already been litigated and it's all defamation. It's not true. And so recently, like within the last week or two, maybe this week, I don't even know what is time. Over the past few days, past couple weeks, that lawsuit has gone to the Court of Appeal in France, and the Court of Appeal overturned the finding of liability or whatever, however the French system works, for defamation on that claim. Basically, the judge overturned any finding of civil or whatever kind of liability over there for defamation. There's no more defamation. So now everybody's really been digging their heels in on this whole Brigitte Macron gender theory. Okay, now if you're wondering if I'm going to tell you what my opinion is on Brigitte Macron's gender, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not going to bury the lead. You're not going to get it out of my mouth if I think that whose theory I think is and isn't. All I will say is I do not know because I did not run any genetics tests, and far be it from me to be policing what somebody is or isn't. Okay, however, I mean it is something of extreme public interest, like across the entire world at this point. It's an international news story.
Damn.
Candace Marie Owens, she has caused an uproar. She's reported recently also that Donald Trump contacted her through third parties at first, and then maybe possibly ended up on the phone with her about this story and said that Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte, so-called Brigitte Macron, they came on a plane to talk about Ukraine strategy negotiation or something, some kind of something. That's what the newspaper said. But really, come to find out, according to Candace Owens, they were maybe coming for double reasons or maybe just another different reason. Had nothing to do with nobody's Ukraine, nothing, this and that. I don't know, y'all. Go watch her stuff. She does such a great job getting her own story out. I mean, I don't really feel like I got much to add, but she's just got sued. Okay. So like I said at the beginning, here's the Newsweek article. This one came out just a couple hours ago and then it was updated like less than an hour ago. Candace Owens sued by Macrons over claim that Brigitte, quote, is in fact a man. French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte have filed a defamation lawsuit in the United States against conservative influencer Candace Owens over her repeated claims that France's First Lady is, quote, in fact, a man. In order for something to be defamation, you have to state it as if it is a fact. And that statement has to be false. So something like, oh, Peter Paul down the street. Y'all know Peter Paul? Did you know he was a convicted child offender? Come to find out that that is not true at all. But here's this nosy gossip liar down the street lying about Peter Paul down the street. Okay, that is defamation because it is false statement uttered about somebody to a third party or uttered in public that would tend to harm the reputation of the person who the statement is uttered about. Okay. So all of that, you can't get to any of that until the first thing you got to get to is, was the statement uttered as if it were a fact? And then were the people who heard the statement, this was filed in Delaware, they said. So this is defamation in the United States. Now, is it Delaware state court or is it federal court? I just assumed it was federal, but, stand by. I'm looking for the actual filing itself as well. I just wanted to come and let y'all know about that it even happened because this is, oh my God, y'all. I mean, they're just going to keep suing people for defamation. They are suing for this is in fact a man. So if Candace Owens said that something was in fact the case and it wasn't in fact the case, then it could possibly be that it is a false statement uttered as if it is true. However, Candace Owens, I am absolutely positive, has already got a list 16 and a half pages long of bullet points of all the defenses that she has. Okay. And I am certain that her lawyer is very good. All right. So far be it from me to tell Candace Owens how to handle anything. And I can't even give it legal advice. So all that. But even if Candace Owens does commit what's called defamation per se, she still can have defenses like actual malice needs to be pled. So if she genuinely believed what she was saying when she said it as if it was a fact, then because Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron in particular are famous, they're like world leaders, there's a little leeway there. So they have to show that Candace knew Brigitte was not a man. And that is going to fall right back on Brigitte, which is, I think, why Candace has been saying, well, that's why they don't sue me. Because immediately it's going to end up having to be the case that Brigitte is going to have to prove that she is not, in fact, a man. Because if it is true that Brigitte is, well, under the law, quote, in fact, a man, then it cannot be defamatory that Candace Owens said that Brigitte Macron is, in fact, a man. Well, a judge isn't going to just take anybody's word for it. A judge is going to need, especially in Delaware, to see whether or not Brigitte is, quote, under the law, quote, in fact, a man. Now, they're going to do some very funny business. I'm already predicting it. There's going to be some funny business about the definition of, quote, in fact, a man, because is a person who has undergone a transition surgery, et cetera, change their license, change their name, in fact, and then insert chosen, identified gender? Or does in fact a man require them to now litigate on what that means? I mean, think about the side political juxtaposing context of this, y'all. Like, the question going to be up for debate is, what is, quote, in fact a man? I mean, so a spokesperson for BCC Communications, which represents Candace Owens, told this magazine, quote, Candace will be officially responding to this, I guess, incident on her podcast today, as we are just learning about this in the press. Okay, so Candace Owens' people, her PR people, are saying we didn't even know about this. We learned about it in the news. Newsweek reached out to the Macrons' legal team for comment via email on Wednesday. Owens has drawn criticism for making inflammatory statements on a range of topics, including transgender issues. Has she? Drawn criticism for talking about transgender issues. Is this a transgender issue, though? Because there's a lot of assuming going on. People are like, oh, well, if Brigitte Macron is, transgender, then that means she's not, in fact, a man. Hold on, stop. Why is everyone assuming that Brigitte Macron is transgender? It's like, it's just weird to me that this is getting conflated with transgender issues because people are just assuming that there could be some transgender issue. Like, Brigitte Macron has never said transgender issue, has she? Or Emmanuel? I don't know. I guess I haven't followed the story as closely as I thought, because
they're just saying Candace Owens has been include on a range of topics, including transgender. She's making it
maybe
more than
somebody
what it's
said something
to
about
be.
this, but it's almost like it just keeps getting interjected, and the title has nothing to do with that. The Newsweek article goes on to say the lawsuit includes 22 counts against Candace. So 22 counts of defamation they're trying to plead. Oh, excuse me. Defamation, but also false light and defamation by implication. While world leaders have pursued defamation cases in the past, such legal action remains relatively uncommon. I mean, and it's like, it's just almost impossible. I'm scrolling past the picture because you know how they are doing out here with copyrights. It's stupid. Attorney Tom Clare, who is representing the Macrons, announced the lawsuit in a press release today. The Macrons filed their 218-page suit in the Superior Court of the state of Delaware. So they filed it in state court. Candace's company is incorporated in Delaware. The lawsuit calls Owens's various claims outlandish, defamatory, far-fetched fictions, and states that they have caused, quote, relentless bullying. These are world leaders, y'all. They have the power to start wars, all right? And they're worrying about somebody's podcast and bullying. Y'all, we need to straighten up. We need to get it together. Relentless bullying on a worldwide scale, resulting in tremendous damage to the Macrons. So resign from office and go live in the countryside, in the French countryside. Go live in wherever. You could be anywhere. You could be doing anything. You don't have to be the president and the first lady. Get on, shoot. Owens, a popular, because I mean, look, if you're going to be the president, like, this is truly why the French Revolution happened, is it not? I don't know. Maybe they told us the wrong thing. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm hallucinating. But is it not the case that it was like the French rulers that like weren't allowing people to criticize them, weren't allowing people to do what they wanted to do with their own money, their own time? Everybody was broke and ready to pay all their money to the French, the royals. Definitely a big part of the American Revolution had a whole lot to do with not being able to say what you want to say about the king, about the guy in charge. Okay. This is why the Magna Carta was written. So the people that is getting ruled over, the Magna Carta is like a 1,000 years ago or something. No. For a civilization, a society to be free, there is a requirement, most of the time codified in the governing laws of the land, that say you can talk about the lady or the man who's in office, who's running things, and in particular, the president, and in particular, prime ministers. Now, that's obviously not the case everywhere, but that is pretty common. That is absolutely the case in Delaware. You can make criticisms about public figures, including like leaders in the world. You got to just let people say what they're going to say, or else just don't be the president. Shut up. However, there is a limit, and I don't know. It's what's interesting to me again is that Brigitte Macron is going to have to prove to a court in Superior Court of Delaware that she's not, quote, in fact, a man, and that Candace Owens knew it or should have known it when she said it. And Candace Owens is going to say, Your Honor, I literally asked Brigitte herself, are you in fact a man? Yes or no? And she won't answer. That's what Candace is going to say. One of the things she's going to say, I told y'all it's got like 16-page long bullet list. I'm certain already. She's going to respond to it on her podcast today, she said, or they said, BCC Media. Owens has repeatedly posted and shared theories about Brigitte, which is legal, including a 2024 X post stating, after looking into this, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is, in fact, a man, end quote. Whoa. Okay, so this is the statement that Newsweek is highlighting. Quote, this is Candace saying this in 2024 on X. Quote, after looking into this, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is, in fact, a man, end quote. Owens also created and posted an 8-part video series on her YouTube channel titled Becoming Brigitte, which outlines various claims. She has said that Brigitte was born Jean-Michel Trogneau and claimed that Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron are blood relatives. The Macrons have repeatedly rejected the claims and referenced Brigitte's birth announcement. The lengthy lawsuit includes numerous social media posts and quotes from Owens's various allegations about Brigitte. The plaintiffs request actual and presumed damages and punitive and or exemplary damages, which are going to be hard to prove. It's going to be, what are they going to say? We couldn't go to negotiations with Ukraine because of Candace, give us $1 billion. I mean, what are they going to say? The lawsuit requests a jury trial. The Macrons said in a statement today, quote, because Miss Owens systematically reaffirmed these falsehoods in response to each of our attorney's repeated requests for a retraction, we ultimately concluded that referring the matter to a court of law was the only remaining avenue for remedy. So they have made repeated requests for retraction, but they have not answered the questions that were specifically propounded upon them by Miss Owens, to my understanding. Now, the Macron's attorney, Tom Clare, said in a statement also today, they did a little PR rush today, Wednesday, day of our Lord, July 23rd. So the attorney said, quote, if ever there was a clear-cut case of defamation, this is it. So this is the lawyer saying Brigitte is not, in fact, a man. Because it can't be the case that if Brigitte Macron is, in fact, a man, then there would not be defamation. And this man is saying it's the most clear-cut case. He said if there ever was one in the world, a clear-cut case of defamation, this is it. The lawyer for the president and the first lady of France goes on. He says, relying on discredited falsehoods, originally represented by a self-proclaimed spiritual medium and so-called investigative journalist, Miss Owens both promoted and expanded on those falsehoods and invented new ones, all designed to cause maximum harm to the Macrons and to maximize attention and financial gain for herself. The lawyer's statement goes on, quote, despite the irrefutable evidence that was provided to her on multiple occasions. So I'm interested to know, what is this irrefutable evidence? They don't list it here. They don't list it. They just say she was given this supposedly irrefutable evidence provided to Candace on multiple occasions. Quote, she not only persisted, but doubled down on her attacks to make matters worse. Many others have republished her lies, thereby increasing their global audience and the emotional and reputational harm they have caused. Well, there you have it. That is the Newsweek reporting. I am certainly going to be tuning in to Candace's coverage on the matter. I certainly want to hear her side of things. I want to know, what is this irrefutable evidence, so-called? I want to know, did they ever answer any of those questions that she propounded upon them? I'm assuming no. We'll see. But it's hard out here in these YouTube streets. I mean, I made a video about it yesterday. It's getting harder every day, getting harder every day.
It's hot out here in these YouTube streets.
Anyway, that's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. I don't know any of these people. I don't know. I wasn't there. Love you, meaning, okay, bye.
Oh my gracious, man. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. It's hot out here on these YouTube streets. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. I am about to go to Candace Owens' channel. And if there's a video on her speaking on this, we will be doing a reaction to it. So y'all stay tuned. Take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Don't forget, man, my album is dropping August 1st for y'all. Candace Owens, Uncle Mike did an album. I got 10 songs on the album. It's dropping August the 1st. So check out the links in the description and everything, and support a brother. This the new peace sign. Peace on both sides. Peace. And the arrow going up. Peace out.